What's up, everybody? Happy Tuesday. Okay, so today's episode of One Life to Live was amazing. Before I get into One Life to Live, I have some news. People were wondering about my General Hospital video. I have to be honest with all of you and tell you something. I am not stopping my General Hospital videos per se, but I will be focusing more on One Life to Live and all my children for the foreseeable future. But I will be doing General Hospital reviews from now on Fridays. Just Fridays until such time, because I want to focus a little bit more on One Life to Live and all my children. And to be truthful, General Hospital has been somewhat boring me a little bit lately with some of their stupid storylines, so I'll get into all that later. But anyway, yeah, today's episode, One Life to Live, the second episode of the new series, has been amazing. So everybody goes to the hospital to check on Danny, and someone pulls the curtain back, and long and behold, it's Victor. Thank God Victor is back. When Todd was talking to Taya, he was pretty much berating Taya for being a bad mother because their daughter was doing drugs and Taya didn't know it. I mean, you know, Todd is my boy, but I don't agree with Todd. She's not a bad mother. First of all, Taya has been grieving for her child that Todd baby switched. So therefore, I agree Taya should have been paying a little bit more attention to Danny, but Taya's been dealing with her own hell the last few months. So who can blame her? I don't blame Taya. This is something parents deal with all the time. They can't watch their kids, especially their grown children. You can't babysit your grown kids for 24 hours a day and see if they're doing drugs. Daniela is 21 years old now. So Taya isn't keeping tabs on the girl. You know what I mean? So it's not her fault that her daughter OD'd on Oxycontin. It's not her fault. I don't think you can blame Taya for that. So Todd kept talking shit to Taya or whatever. Taya was asking Todd, doesn't he live in Port Charles now? I didn't think, for the love of me, I did not think anybody on One Life to Live would even mention Port Charles. I didn't even think they would mention it. But it's cool that they did. So when Todd was talking shit to Taya, Victor came up and hemmed his ass up. He grabbed him by the collar and shit, by his coat and shirt, and told him to back the hell off. Everybody was so shocked to see Victor. I thought I would get a bigger reaction from everybody when they saw Victor. I mean, everybody had a pretty decent reaction, but I thought it would be a bigger reaction. I mean, the dude was presumed dead. BLAIR didn't even blink. And neither did Vicky and them when they seen him. They didn't even blink. Like, Vicky had a surreal look on her face, like, when she found out Victor was alive. I'm just mad they didn't show Victor and Vicky, like, interacting or anything like that. But anyway, Taya didn't tell Todd about the baby and stuff like that because it was too soon. You know, she wanted to wait until, I guess, they were alone and everything calmed down to tell him about the baby, that she lost their son. Todd left. He stormed out of the room or whatever after Victor came in. Matthew, Jeffrey, you know, and New Destiny were asking Matthew, did he know anything about her taking Oxycontin, or was he involved? And Matthew denied it. He claimed that he knew that she took it once in a while and that he took it. Matthew is such a dumbass kid. Like, seriously, why are you taking Oxy? You grew up a Buchanan. You grew up rich. You had no reason to be popping pills. Like, seriously. Matthew is fucking crazy. If I was Bo, I would put my foot in that kid ass. Like, seriously. So anyway, Destiny was talking, kind of getting the attitude with Jeffrey or whatever, telling him to mind his business and butt out. I'm like, I don't know who this little bitch thinks she talking to. Seriously, how rude. Like telling him to butt out. First of all, he knew Danny way before Destiny even knew Danny. So why are you telling him to butt out? He know Matthew and Danny from back in the day when they was in London at that damn school. So why are you telling him to back out? Back off. Who are you? Like, why are you being so fucking rude and nasty to people? Like, this bitch is crazy. Anyway, Vicky was with Dorian and stuff like that. Dorian was threatening Vicky with, you know, a liable lawsuit or whatever because of the dirt that her reporter Jeffrey dug up on the CIA intelligence and Dorian. So Dorian left or whatever, and Vicky got a phone call to come to the hospital and stuff like that. So she gets to the hospital. You know, she sees Todd, and then she finds out Victor's alive, and Clint went with her. Then Clint was talking to Matthew, asking Matthew, did he have anything to do with this? And Matthew denied it, of course. And Clint told him that he better not have nothing to do with that. I'm like, Matthew don't understand how much Clint, Nora, and Bo sacrificed to keep this little bastard out of prison when he shot Eddie Ford. Look at everything Clint went through to keep your little ass out of prison. And this is how you repay all of them for their hard work and keeping you out of prison for murder. This is why I just feel like I feel like Bo, Nora, and Clint should have just made the conscious decision to turn him in. Because, I mean, seriously, he obviously needed that reality check. Because not only did they help you out of one stupid thing that you did, but now you're going around doing another stupid thing that can get you dead or put back in or put in jail this time. He's fucking stupid. The kid is crazy. I'm like, Asa would be so pissed at this kid. Seriously. But anyway, Victor, Taya told Victor to go talk to Jack or whatever about, you know, just talk to him, and Jack was happy to see him, and him and Victor hugged, and Todd was upset by it. So Todd went to the coffee house. Blair followed Todd, and, you know, Todd said that, oh, I wish I would. He said, I wish I could kill him. He said, hell, I thought I did kill him. So Todd is crazy. He's upset and jealous because Jack loves Victor or show more affection towards Victor than Todd. Todd got to understand something. Victor has been a part of this kid's life for 8 years. You know, he's been a father to him for 8 years. Jack was a baby when Todd left, you know, when he got kidnapped or whatever, and Victor stepped into the role. So, you know, you got to understand why he cares more about Victor at this point. But I think in time, if Todd, you know, stopped doing stupid shit for a while, Jack will warm up to him. You know, you just got to give it time. That's not to say that I do believe Jack loved Todd. I believe that. But he loves Victor too. That's his stepdad, or, you know, his uncle, his, you know, who raised him, who was presumed as his father. So, I mean, how can you blame him? So anyway, they're at the club, and Cutter and Rama is at the club. You know, Rama Patel, whatever happened to her husband Vimo? Because when I seen Rama, she wasn't wearing a wedding ring. So I'm like, what the fuck happened to Vimo? I thought Vimo was supposed to be on the show. What happened to Vimo? I guess we'll see him later. Anyway, her and Cutter were at the club. The kids that were at the club, they wanted to leave. Cutter was not letting them leave. So he put on some music, gave them all free drinks. And I felt bad for Cutter because Cutter was basically blaming himself for what happened to Danny, you know, blaming himself for it. But I'm like, you can't control that. And that's the same thing, you know, that Todd was trying to tell Blair about opening up a nightclub. And Blair thinks that her club has nothing to do with drugs, and it's not that type of club. She's delusional. That's every club. You can't control who brings in drugs and narcotics unless you're doing body searches. And Blair's bodyguards at the club were not doing body searches. So how could you know if somebody brought the drugs in? Because that's what kids do. They bring drugs into the club and stuff like that. And you just wouldn't know unless you actually do a full body search. Blair is like a little delusional about that. Todd told that bitch to take up knitting. That shit was funny. But anyway, when all of them were in the hospital room, in that waiting room, and the look that Victor and Todd gave each other, you could cut that tension with a knife. It was crazy. There was definitely a lot of tension in that waiting room between all of them, like especially Victor and Todd. That shit was crazy. It looked like they want to kill each other. I wonder what's gonna happen with the two of them. But so anyway, back at the nightclub, Cutter was giving out free drinks or whatever. I'm like, here's the dilemma. If Cutter would have let the people leave the club, they would have lost money anyway. So either way, whether he gave them free drinks or whatever, either way, Blair was going to lose money that night because the kids wanted to leave and they wanted their money back. But Cutter thought of a way to keep the money, but in exchange, give them free drinks. You know, so I mean, it is what it is. But Todd did have a point, though. They could end up shutting that club down because of what happened. But anyway, back at La Boule, David and Dorian were talking about the scandal, and she had paparazzi all up on her property taking pictures, and now David and Dorian trying to figure out a way to fix this situation and spin it so that way Dorian can, you know, come out on top. Dorian better do something quick. I cannot believe she called Vicky a bitch. Dorian don't never change. I swear she don't. That old ass woman calling people bitches. I'm like, what is wrong with you? Anyway, today's episode, I enjoyed it. I loved it. So anyway, I'll see you guys later. I'm out. See you later.